Hello! So, after getting many messages about the smelt, it is still happening. And finally, it's because of this. So, if you didn't read the community posts or see the shorts or follow me on social media or any of the other places, which I'm starting to realize was more of a failing on my part, I just assumed that people would be following me on all of the platforms. Shortly after building the smelter, the foundry, there was an unprecedented weather event on the little island that I live on. And it was completely, there's no way you could predict it happen. It's never happened before. We needed about 3 straight days of no rain to be able to do the smelt. But we also needed there to be no wind, and we needed the ground to be dry because of how hot this thing's getting. We don't want clay explosions. And we haven't had those matching conditions for, would be like 9 weeks now, straight. And it hasn't just been affecting my island. The entire southeast corner of Australia was hit by it in different capacities. Some places flooded terribly and people had to be evacuated. Luckily here it was a bit more mild than that, but we've been getting some pretty nasty weather. But the smelter furnace has survived. I wrapped it in a tarp and actually held that down with ratchet straps because the wind kept ripping the tarp off. But it has survived. And just some very minor repairs which I've just done this morning in order to prepare it for hopefully the end of this week. So the door is now sealed up, ready to use. That's me being hopeful, because the weather will look like this. Actually, I'll insert a clip here. This here is what the weather looked like yesterday. Looking out my shed door just behind me there, and then 10 minutes later, it was like 10 or 12 minutes later, it looked like this. And this is what my life has been. Every time the weather forecast is like, yes, it'll be fine and clear for the next 4 days. What it doesn't mention is that those 4 days will have like 60-kilometer-an-hour winds, and and then all of a sudden it'll just rain anyway, but it'll only rain for like 10 minutes, and in that 10 minutes we'll get 20 mil of rain. And yeah, I've never seen anything like this. You know, I grew up here in Tasmania, and the climate has just changed very badly. Not for the better. It used to be incredibly predictably mild weather here in Tasmania, but apparently not anymore. So luckily it looks like it's all coming to an end now. The downpours have been getting further apart, or when they are close together it's less rain. The wind gusts are still quite bad. Even today it's like 55 kilometers an hour and from a bad direction. But it looks like there's a good chance that this coming Friday it will be ideal and at the end of a stint of no rain. So I'm being hopeful, and I've sealed up the door so that can all dry and cure, ready for the initial firing, and we'll see how it goes. But I wanted to let you guys know that is the state of affairs. The smelt is still happening, still going to be documenting it. I still intend on going live for the interesting bit, because there's about 8 hours of not interesting. But I'll try and get some footage in that time, obviously. Because, well, I will be, in addition to the live, I'll be doing an edited video showing the process as well. And yeah, I'm trying to very last minute wrangle some helpers, people that I know their capacity for forging and know their comfort level with extreme temperatures and things like that, people I trust. And trying to organize schedules, saying, look, I've got this one very small window that I can do it. And yeah, I'll tell you, you know, while it has been a very cool journey to do this with the original technology and doing it like ancient world style, if I do this again, I'm just going to get a steel drum and line it with isowool and put castable refractory on the inside, because that way I can build the entire thing on one weekend and then do the smelt the next weekend, and it'll be easy. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking that most of my problems are to do with the fact that I have used ancient materials, but it was important that somebody show how this stuff worked for 3,000 years of human history. I think this stuff is cooler than just cheating and doing it with modern stuff. But subsequent smelts that I do, it will be with that. And even if this one goes horribly wrong for whatever reason, I actually have the refractory and the steel drum ready to go to be able to do that backup. That's the plan, because come hell or high water, I will be getting this bloom because it was ordered by the legend Kevin. So it will be happening. It's just, yeah, I really wanted to show, because I haven't seen many other people do this. I wanted to show in detail all of the details and steps and explanations of how they did it thousands of years ago, and right up until not that long ago, to be honest. And I think that's important, preserving that kind of historical knowledge, and I'm sure many of you agree with that. And you can really see why ancient people would sort of attribute gods to elements of nature and things, because it really feels like nature's very angry at the moment. And you'd want to. I'm at the point where I could leave out some offerings to make sure that the weather gods change their mind and give me some good weather, because you saw how much work has gone into this, so I have been itching. I walk past. I've been keeping the perfectly dry, prepared ore inside the house so that it stays as dry as possible. And I walk past it every time I go in to my house. It's there. It's in the laundry. And I keep seeing it, and I'm like, soon. I really want to. So I haven't been holding off doing it for no reason. I've even been like having to get on with other work. Because it's just sitting around waiting for the weather to just stop doing this thing, whatever it's doing. But it looks like it's winding down. There's very good odds for Friday, so everybody keep your fingers and toes crossed for me that Friday is good. But even if it's not, it won't be long now. The seasons have really gone into their changing modes. I know on the calendar, spring in Australia starts on the 1st of September, but in terms of actual weather, it's more like the end of September, like 22nd, 23rd is the spring equinox down here. And so the transition between seasons is very temperamental in weather, and but not usually this temperamental. But that being said, it's sliding into spring now, and spring means calm weather. And you can see it in the way that the weather's moving. So one way or the other, this smelt is happening quite soon. Thanks for being patient with it. But it's been actually kind of cool to see how many people are invested in this and resonate with the fact that I've been wanting to actually finally have a step-by-step guide put out there in video form that anybody could follow, and using just natural resources rather than having to invest in special tools and materials and things like that. Because let's face it, isowool and castable refractory on that scale are expensive. So being able to just do it the way that people did it thousands of years ago, being able to recreate that in your backyard is pretty special. So thanks for sticking with me. The smelt will be soon, one way or the other, and it is coming, and you don't need to worry about it. Anyway, thanks for sticking around, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.